Alright, hi everyone. Today we're going to be looking at modeling the phone amp. First thing we do after we've opened Fusion 360 is we need to save the file. So go over here, click on save. I'm going to be calling it tutorial phone amp, the phone amplifier. I'm going to be saving it in my Year 9 folder. You guys save it in whichever folder you think is appropriate. Click on save. Okay, so we can see that now the name has changed to tutorial phone amp, and also here. When we start modeling, we want to always create components in their individual folders or component folders. So the way I do that is I go over to my top folder here, which is called tutorial phone amp, that's the name of the file, and I right click and click on new component. Now I've created a new component and it's called component 1:1, and we can see by the circle with a dot in it that it's the active component. Whenever I create something or model something, it will always be built or created in the active component. So I need to make sure that I'm always aware of which is my active component. So I'm going to click on component until it becomes blue and click on it again. And now I can rename it, and I'm going to call it phone. Enter. Okay, so now I'm building in the component called phone, and I'm going to start with a new sketch. Click on create sketch, and I'm going to choose this plane. This one here, click on it, and there we go. So now I'm looking at the plane that I'm going to be actually sketching on. I'm going to start my phone sketch with a rectangle. Click on 2-point rectangle, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle like so. Cool. Now I want to give my phone some rounded corners because I don't like the square ones. My phone's actually got rounded corners. I don't know if your phone does. So I'm going to go sketch, fillet, and click there and there, and it comes up with 15. My phone is about 10. Enter. I'm going to right click, repeat fillet, there and there. Cool. Right click, repeat fillet, there and there. Oops, gone to 15, go 10. And I don't think I can do it like that. No, so I actually need to right click and repeat fillet, there, and it's 10. So that's all nice. I don't think that's actually the size of my phone. So I need to put in dimensions. Now on your ribbon up the top, you probably don't have the dimension tool. So you need to click on the word sketch, and sketch dimension is down here. Now you will have, when you mouse over, you'll have 3 vertical dots like that. If you click on them, make sure that you have a tick in pin to toolbar. When you have a tick in pin to toolbar, that particular tool will appear up in the toolbar in the ribbon up here. And you can do that with any tool. Any tool at all, you can pin it to the toolbar. But I would suggest that you keep the tools pinned to the toolbar to a minimum, otherwise it becomes too clogged with tools and it's hard to see them. Alright, so we get our dimension tool and click that vertical line and that vertical line, and my phone is 42 wide. Enter. Actually that's not true, it's 72. So I'm just going to go in there and double click and make it 72. And the height is 142. Alright, so there's my phone, the shape of it. Now, so I've put in 72 as the width of the phone. This phone that I'm creating is actually going to create the slot that my phone sits in. So if I create the slot 72mm wide, and my phone is 72mm wide, it's going to be quite tight. Well, very tight. So I'm actually going to make the phone that I'm modeling maybe 2mm wider. So I'm going to make that So I'm going to make that, instead of temp 72, I'm going to make it 74. Alright, cool. And click escape just to get out of the dimensioning tool. Alright, so there's my phone, at least in 2D, and that's cool. That looks good. But I want to position it, just for the sake of being neat and tidy, I want to position it so it's centered on my axis. So I'm going to draw a line, get my line tool, and as it is, this line tool will be drawing a solid line part of the model. I actually don't want to do that. I just want this line to be a construction line, or a line that assists me with modeling but isn't actually part of my model. So I'm going to go and make this line a construction line, and now it'll be a dashed line. So now I'm going to move along until it becomes a triangle. When we get that triangle, that means I'm in the center of the line. Alright, center of the line, click and drag down until I become the center of the line again. Click again and click on escape. Cool, so now that line is dead center on that rectangle. Now I want to place that line on the axis. So there are lots of ways of doing this. For now we'll choose to move. So I'm going to select my line, right click, move copy, and in this instance I'm going to choose move from point to point. So the first point that I'm going to select is that little dot down there, which is the end of the center line. Click on it, and I'm going to move it to this point, which is the center of my axis, and I'm going to click OK. Once I've done that, that's pretty much all I want to do for this outline, or for this sketch, and I'm going to click on Stop Sketch. Cool. Okay, so here's my sketch, and it's in 2D. I need to create it in 3D. I go and get my extrude tool, select that shape, and I can pull or push either way. I'm just going to pull because it's arbitrary. And the thickness of my phone I know is 8.1 millimeters, but again, if I make it 8.1 millimeters, it's going to be very tight when I slide my actual phone into my actual phone amp. So I'm going to make it 9 mil thick, and enter or OK. Now I can hold down Shift and the center wheel and pan around like that, or orbit around like that, and that is my phone. That's looking pretty cool. What I haven't got is the mic, so that's important to have, to actually put the, not the mic, sorry, the speaker of the actual phone on the back. Okay, so the next stage, just to finish the phone, is to actually model the speaker on the back of the phone. So again, on my phone, which is a Galaxy S5, it's on the actual back of the phone, around about there, and I've previously measured the size of the speaker and how far it is away from the side and the bottom. So to model that, I need to create a new sketch on the back of the phone. So I'm going to get Create Sketch, and it's asking for the plane that I'm going to sketch on. I'm not going to select any of these planes. I'm going to select the actual back of the phone that I'm going to sketch on. So there we go. And now remember, I'm looking at the back of the phone. So I'm going to draw a rectangle to symbolize the speaker, and my rectangle is going to be 4 mil high and 7 mil, and 7 mil wide. And the positioning is pretty critical. It's going to be 20 mil from the bottom. So that distance for me is 20, and 10 mil from the side. Now obviously for you, for your phone, it's going to be different. Your speakers may even be on the bottom of the phone, I don't know. But have to model that individually. Okay, so there is my sketch of the speaker. I'm going to stop the sketch and just spin that around. I'm actually going to extrude that into my model. So create extrude, and I'm going to go and select that little rectangle, and the direction is not going to be that way, it's going to be that way, and we can see that it's a negative direction. So I'm just going to do -1, and I just make sure that over here the operation is cut. Should automatically be that. OK, and there we have our speaker in the phone. Cool.